In order for your team to be most effective, you need to establish the right key performance indicators. Now, these key KPIs will be different across organizations and teams, but the core component is that you actually take time to establish these with your team. Now, why is missing this step so detrimental? Remote work at its core is a lot more autonomous and self-directed. So if your team doesn't understand their KPIs, how they came to be, and why they are their KPIs, they won't be able to work towards them as effectively. Now, this is exactly why establishing the right metrics is so important while working remotely. Your team should be able to establish their KPIs, say what they are, how they came to be, and also even establish why their team exists in the first place. So on the next slide, we'll be showing two examples of KPIs, one that is not great and one that is much better. Take a moment to review these and take time to understand what the difference is. All right, so here's an example from a sales team. A bad example of a KPI would be your goal is to bring in more money by signing more clients. That's extremely vague and not actionable. A better example is your job is to convey the value proposition for our company to enable more users to benefit from using our tool to achieve X. Without this key step, we find that many of our users and customers aren't able to fully understand how we differentiate from our competitors. We measure the number of premium subscriptions from both new and existing users in order to capture the value that our companies are getting out of our product. We also measure Y as a secondary quality metric. In the past, we only measured revenue, but we found that it wasn't able to accurately measure for Z. You can see your performance at any time in this dashboard, and here are some examples of how others have actually moved this metric. A team should feel extremely comfortable with their KPIs and also feel like their actions are having a direct impact on their metrics. If they feel like their KPIs are random or immovable, they will inevitably feel unmotivated and perhaps even worse, start optimizing around another KPI. Now, take the extra time to train your teammates on understanding how to actually perform the analytics on their KPIs. This removes a layer of uncertainty so that they can actually perform the analytics and see firsthand how their efforts actually translate to impact. Remember that when working remotely, you as a leader won't always be around to actually supervise. So your team should have the utmost clarity around what their goals are, why they exist, how they can move them, and also how they can analyze their performance. KPIs provide a roadmap so that your team can understand and effectively measure their work. Transparent KPIs are a precursor to the following sections, because without this alignment, the ability to effectively delegate and give feedback will fall short. So having clear KPIs for your team so that they understand, can move, and believe in are essential in providing delegation and feedback later on.